we back once again. One of the benefits to having your own YouTube channel is you get to kind of show off your favorite stuff whenever you want to. So this is my favorite, all-time favorite layout of all time. And I call it the ultimate just because I've got a whole bunch of different layouts. I mean, if we look through them all, there's at least 30 here. It's my favorite one, and basically it's very, very simple. It is going to be using the multiple time frame open close range. And all you do is type in MTFOCR, you'll come up with this one from Pro Indicators. So really good indicator that they've got, and put 5 of them on there essentially, and on each one you can select the time frame. So what it's doing is it's going to show you the previous high-low range, the open gap, and then it's going to plot the open close, previous open close of the time frame. So we've got the previous 12 months, we've got the previous 3 months, so we're going to be looking at the last year, the last quarter, the last month, the last day, and the last week. And we got that all color coded in my own way. We're looking at Bitcoin here, and the reason I like this is because all these points, these opens, closes, these ranges, these are all going to be points of liquidity within the market. So really don't need a whole lot more than just knowing where all the liquidity is, knowing where the resistance is and the supports, knowing where the range is. It gives you a really good idea of what the most recent traders, what the most recent participants in the market were up to, were doing in that time frame before. So we're just looking here. I mean, if we pull up the day, we can see the previous year. So the way you would look at this is the daily chart. This is the previous year low right up here and the previous year open. So I can instantly know that when I look at this, 28,000 is going to be a pretty big resistance on Bitcoin. Okay, and you can see where all these turning points are. And so look where Bitcoin turned. It turned on the previous month's high. Okay, that's what this white box is. And I wish there was a way to label them exactly what they were. But this yellow box is going to be the previous week ranges. So this week range gets printed right here on the current week. And then if you zoom in on the time frame, you could see the previous days. But and this is going to be the previous quarter's low. So this is sort of where all the stock market is hanging out here at the previous quarter low. If we go over here to say SPY, so we can look at SPY here. SPY closed right at last year's low. It tried to break through, but it happened to be a pretty big resistance because not only was it last year's low, but it was also last quarter's low. So this really gives you a lot of good levels just to start with to trade from. You can see here where there was a reversal here right at the previous week close, essentially. So came up into it, tried to break through, and then there was a reversal there. So I use this all the time to find traps, because all the traps end up happening around these levels. That's what I've learned. See this trap up here, they rip it up, and you got 2 days where it's up. They get you right up in these, really high above the previous week's high. That's typically where it happens. And then they bring it back to below previous week low, which was right here. So we went from previous week high above, previous week low is where you close. That's pretty bearish as far as the move goes. And then we open up below this level here, which is going to be our previous month low. So it really helps to give you some really good context of where the market is trading. And a lot of people just want to use a moving average that's just going to kind of trend. That's perfectly fine. But if you're going to be trying to look at it like a market maker would, essentially look at a chart, that's pretty much all I think they care about as far as where they're going to be placing stops, where they're going to look for stop hunts, stop runs, that kind of stuff. Where's the liquidity going to be at? Look in here, look where we reversed right at the previous year low. Basically flushed it, couldn't quite break the previous quarter low, and then it was the reversal because of the negative gamma that was in the market on Friday. So definitely was sitting here watching this. I was sitting here watching this going, well, they've run out of time. We're down almost 10 points on SPY. They've run out of time to try and break that previous quarter low. all these puts that are down here are going to start getting closed, sends the market higher. I think it ripped 4 or 5 points there. So anyways, this is my favorite layout. I'll leave this in the description if you're interested in trying to use it. And yeah, I always have the Heiken Ashi as the source for it, because it does change the levels. You can still use it like this, because all this is going to show is the gaps. So if you're trying to trade those gaps and that kind of stuff, kind of nice to use that. But I like the Heiken Ashi version. It's just a little bit cleaner looking. But like I said, I'll leave this in the description if you are interested. I've got it on sharing, and we'll see you next time. Peace.